Lucky Botters in here, also BSH member, but you know, a great content creator as well. I hope y'all check them out. Y'all notice we don't have many of those guys on here. We don't promote many of them. Don't watch any of them really because it's majority of the time cringe, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. We pulled up your videos though, man, and we're excited to have you. We think you do a great job already. You know, you're just killing it. So thanks for coming.
It's not an issue at all. Not a problem. Thanks for having me. It's yeah, I'm hoping it'll be an interesting conversation, to be fair. And look, don't get me wrong, I watch my videos back and cringe sometime as well. So it's it kind of is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So, smartphone, everyone, send me the link.
Yeah, shoot at that. Yeah, send out that link. Let's get it going.
And yeah, have that on its way. But
Jeff, how's the store looking over there? Y'all busy today or what?
I mean, we opened 2 minutes ago, so we're not busy yet. But
you're a 12 guy. Okay.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty busy. I think today with Valentine's Day is going to be pretty busy. It's the weekends have been strong, and they kind of get a little busier each weekend as it gets nicer out and more people hear about the store.
Dude, it's been shit weather for us. I don't know about you guys.
I know it's been shitty up here too. It's supposed to snow again today, but last Sunday it snowed at like maybe starting at 10 a.m. and we were debating if we should just close entirely because it was a Sunday, it was snowy, and it was the Super Bowl. And we ended up opening, and we were busy straight 1 to 4. Like I don't know why people were coming in to buy, but they were, and yeah. So we were busy, and it ended up by the end of the day, it was like it didn't even snow.
Wow.
So sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm down at the beach, and it's brutal. What's the weather like there? Was it across the pond? Is that what they say?
Yeah, it's well, for us it's freezing cold. It's -2. I don't know, you deal with some weird measurements over there, so I don't know what that means in your numbers.
We deal with the weird measurements. Oh my god, this is gonna be a rivalry, I could tell already. We deal with weird measurements.
He's right though. He's right.
No,
the metric system is way better.
But we do weird stuff, like we'll do metric and then we'll do other stuff, like on motorcycles we'll have some metric stuff, we'll have imperial stuff all on the same freaking motorcycle that we build, so it's strange. But no, it's like -2 for us, and we've seen a bit of snow, so it means the whole of the UK can't move at all. We can't deal with if it's too hot or too cold. It needs to be perfect.
So y'all are like Texas right now, just shut the fuck down with some ice on the road. I don't know if you saw in Texas, they had a massive pile up on it.
I did. They was like going into each other, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the same way here. If there's ice on the road here at the beach, people like, you know, the world's over. So
exactly. Forget COVID. It's the snow that's killing us, basically.
It's snow. So you didn't run today, right? So we're all in America, so we had big runs this morning. Carmines, obviously, AM90s are killing it. You know, the AF1, I call them the AF1 Strange Loves. They're like the love letters or some shit. But y'all ran this yesterday, or how did the release schedule break down?
So love letters were last week. Basically, we had those in the AM90s. Carmines were today.
So this one you had last week.
We had those last week.
This colorway or
that
the other
colorway?
one?
No, that one.
Wow. Okay. Well, man, that one with the heart confuses the hell out of me. You know.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the ones with the heart there, but
when did those release over there? On the same day?
No, those released just before. So those released like I think 2 days before it.
Okay.
And then that's when and you might tell me I did something wrong, but that's when I was like, oh shit, US is in like a week, so I'm gonna get my pairs in and quickly get them gone on GOAT or whatever, ready for Valentine's Day or whatever. Okay. So they came in same as AM90s dropped at the same time as the love letters.
Okay.
On mesh mainly is what we get in the UK. That's I guess you guys know what mesh is, but if those that listen don't, foot patrol size, JD, etc. And that's our kind of foot sites in a way where they just love to cancel. So even though I think I hit something like 40 pairs, I think I only got around 12 in, something like that. But yeah, they came in. Carmines were today, and we also had the Disrupt Dunks, the Coppers, are they called?
Yeah.
Copers. We had those. I didn't go too hard on those. I don't know what they're going to do.
No. That's Oh, there's some Carmines in Jeff's hands. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were having a previous discussion. Those Carmines are sitting over there right now.
Yeah, I think this. I don't know if they're still sitting now, but they were sitting for a very long time. I could literally manual a load if I wanted to today. To be fair, a lot of people are going for GS size, but still, they're not doing well. Those type of shoes don't really do well in the UK. I always liken it to say that basketball shoes for us are not really our thing unless they're like Jordan 1s, because they're just iconic. We're more runner type shoes, so
Makes
MX1s and
is there so in the US, like we have, this might be a dumb question, but we have some states that, you know, every state has a different tax rate, right? So how is that for you, I guess, in the UK, if you're paying, you know, you said that with the VAT, Carmines were 220. Are there people that could avoid that in any way, or is everyone straight up paying 220 no matter where you live, no matter what? That's going to be like your price all in.
So currently now, we went through Brexit, so I'm in the UK. Usually you can bot EU. The problem is when you do, you then get some form of import charge. But everyone's got to pay VAT at source. It's not like in the US where if you're, say, from Delaware, or wherever it is, you don't get taxed. We have to pay the VAT. But if we own a company like I do, I can offset the VAT. So I can get 20% off if I put it through the business as an expense, which I can because I'm smart and I actually do my taxes because I don't want to be put in prison. So I actually offset a lot of the pairs that I get and get 20% off, basically.
So that's like done like general tax returns. That's not done immediate on the purchase, correct?
You not on the purchase straight away. You can do it more than just once per year, though. You can do it more often. You can do VAT backs, but yeah, that's not a purchase. I've still got to pay the 20%. I just claim it back.
Okay, yeah, because the only reason I said that is because I remember when we were able to buy on those sites. What a lovely time period. Probably not as lovely for you, but I remember those times it would auto take it off, so I didn't know if that was like registered or something fancy, but it's about standard.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's good. So we have some Carmine data we can throw up there, Smurf. Take a look at this shoe, see what's happening. Everybody knows in our side, this was an absolute shit show today. Men's sizes were either PV'd or not obtainable. How did you guys do? I didn't do too well. Brandon
I
would rather not talk about it.
I'm still waiting for a restock to have like a few thousand cancels. So,
yeah, that's my goal. That's my goal.
Yeah, I figure if I could get like 3,000 cancels and 10 pairs to ship, then fairly better ratio than last week. So, but no, this was fairly predictable. Like, what were prices at 270-ish last night? And we were saying, you know,
250 to 270, yeah.
Yeah, in our chats, then in the group, like it's not going to stay at 270. Like once the demand starts kicking up tomorrow, you could tell the release was going to be fucked just by how. Oh, also I don't know how much I should watch my language if this is going on your channel. I don't know how that works, but
it's fine. Don't worry, I swear all the time.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you could see just how the release was kind of deteriorating before our eyes, and you could kind of get a gauge of, all right, this is going to be a shit show tomorrow, and price is going to jump because this is a Carmine 6, Nike Air on the back. You know, very, very simple stuff there, and it played out exactly as such. So, yeah, I mean, if you hit pairs, sell it right away, sell it today or next few hours, and call it a day, because I could almost promise you all the pairs aren't even close to being out yet, especially with people having to return it and all the stores having to return it, and all the restocks that I think are going to come, even if they don't, this is going to be what, 270s ish, kind of what the Fire Red 4 did on the release day. So that's kind of where I have it.
Brandon, I can tell you from not experience, from knowledge, that they're not replacing the pairs. So if you're sending your pairs back, you're not getting replacements. You're getting refunded.
So what happens to those pairs?
They're going to end up as outlet B grades at some point.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. I think it's this is an interesting play that I think you can maybe play a couple times.
Wait, my point was kind of in between that. Like, yeah, those pairs are going to get sent back, which led
that shoe looks good, man.
Which led to less pairs being out today. I'm just saying, I assume not all the pairs that, like, there were shipping delays and everything. I assume
there's been shipping delays on every Jordan release in the last
But that's my point. Yeah, that's my point. Like, there's still pairs that have yet to be put out.
But also the demand, I think, is gonna, like. Do you think that this one is gonna take a Fire Red trajectory or a Flint trajectory? Because Flint's we were very high on, and they
No,
were
I
great
think it's a fire red. I think it's a fire red trajectory.
I don't think it's either. I think it's in between, because I don't think 6 runs like 4 right now.
Well, definitely grade school. I don't even think grade school 6 is a discussion, because I don't see like women don't even want Travis Scott 6s, and they're by far the most hyped Jordan 6. So I don't see women wanting these.
See, I don't know. I think the grade schools are going to play pretty decent. I think they're going to die out because of all the buying we saw today, and they're not going to meet demand. And then I think you're going to have some pretty good entries on them, and that they'll play pretty much like a GR Jordan Retro and just continue to go up slowly and steadily. I would probably look to sell those personally myself. I mean, summer late, sometime like that, late summer, something of that nature. I think they'll have some pretty good value in them, especially now. This is only if they go the trajectory I'm speaking of, which is dilution. But I mean, if you guys saw the checkout logs today on bots, like it was like 9-1 grade school. So I mean, you know, it's going to get diluted, and I think there might be pretty decent entries on it. I would not be buying anything at this moment, and I would probably be trying to sell the ones I have while the margins are available at this moment as well.
For grade school or men's?
Both.
And was it hard to hit because of stock numbers, or just from sites crashing, or
stock numbers? I think we think. I don't know. What do you guys think? From everything I've gathered, it was challenging to hit because a lot of bots weren't hitting. Stock numbers were off. Foot sites were jacked up. Some were pulling stock. Some were releasing stock. Grade schools were plentiful.
Well, it looked like DTLR and Shoe Pals didn't drop men's.
Yeah.
And then like in Philly, the 2 stores, Atmos was delayed, so they didn't drop, and Lapstone dropped men's in store only, first come first serve.
Yeah. Just didn't go smooth, there wasn't. I don't know. There wasn't.
And the way they were staggered, even foot sites were staggered weirdly. Like a lot of bots were just not working as normal. And I think from what I've seen, like a lot of people hit mid-release on some men's pairs. Like it was just kind of like it really was just a complete shit show across the board. So
it was kind of like an old finish line, like gates open release for a little bit with men's and then closed again.
Right.
Sounds like every Foot Locker UK release, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a release that builds demand. There's no doubt about that. People were pissed off. People who wanted them were pissed off. People who were running bots, investing in them were pissed off. Those types of releases to build demand. And we kind of saw that coming, like Brandon said, with just the way the environment's been. So, what are y'all doing with these pairs? Smurf, what are you doing with these pairs?
Probably going to sell most of them now, just because I have way too many.
Listen to this guy. Way too many.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had a nice opportunity to buy some pairs, so I didn't.
How many did you get?
Yeah, well, this was mostly like a backdoor situation, so it wasn't even like.
Wow, Smurf, nice.
Yeah, I had to step out of retirement.
Some people level up, Some people.
Something like that. So I'm mostly on the quick sell path with these. Having said that, I agree with your point around kind of there being a point for re-entry relatively soon. I think once stores get everything figured out, these are going to look really interesting. I disagree with your point around like end of summer. I think this is more like a beginning of summer type shoe. So, I mean, I guess we're off by like a month, but yeah. So I think there's kind of like an opportunity to cash in on like a swing between probably like 3-4 weeks from now, and then kind of cashing out again early summer.
That's a good point, because I mean, really, if you think about it, one of my plays here is post-stimulus and tax money. So this shoe to me screams that, especially if it just dies out a little bit while people aren't spending now. I mean, most of our releases right now don't have good prospects on our calls because the spending isn't taking place right now. Literally everybody in the country is waiting to spend their stimulus money that they know is coming, and tax refunds they know are coming. These are 2 big significant spending moments that we target every year, not the stimulus, but we target tax every year. And we target the post time after that and the money that people spend. So you're right. It probably will happen earlier because I could definitely see this being, for lack of a better word, a stimmy type shoe. If we get checks here in a couple weeks when that shoe's cheap. I mean, if people get $3K put in their bank per adult and whatever, I mean, $1,400 per adult and $600 per kid, and they look and they see Carmines in the mid 200s, or they're buying.
Yeah,
like
they're shit out of luck.
Yeah, they're buying them. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I think that. What's up next?
All right, these ones. Can you zoom in on that picture?
Yeah, got you.
There it is. Okay, so you have some of those?
I've got some. I have no idea what to do with them. This is like my biggest issue. I have no idea what to do with any of the stuff that I've got. So I've just in a room that's going to cave in on me.
I put in bids on StockX for the small sizes in this one. They all.
I like these long term. They got hit?
Yeah. The bids that I put in, I guess they got taken around the 50%, even though they were under 200. So people probably didn't realize, but I got
they didn't realize
6 through 8 or something.
I think these are great buys right now.
They're really nice in hand, to be honest.
Oh, and they didn't drop. They didn't drop in the US, and they also
look at that.
Don't know why the light's doing that. Let me move this and see if I can get a better picture.
But they didn't drop in the US.
Yeah,
and they're more simple. Like, to me, that when we get to the love letter ones, they feel like the skeleton Air Forces to me, where like they're very great for this seasonality, but I don't know how much demand there's going to be in 2 or 3 months, and it'll probably ramp back up again next year if there's another wave. Whereas this one, I feel like people could wear any time. It's just an Air Force One with a heart on the side.
Yeah, this one was in my StockX day calls as targets. I think base size for these are no brainers in my opinion. I mean, Lucky, I don't know what do we call you, man? Like, what do you want to be called? What's your name?
Josh is fine. Josh is fine.
So Josh, what? I don't know what sizes that you have. I'm not selling a single size that a female would wear right now, though. That's a high volume female size. I think these are absolute undervalued. And I mean, they're just, especially being on the U.S. market, that they didn't release over here, and they're so simple. They are going to be a beautiful shoe to be wearing, April through whenever that you see sun outside. And my big thing with this shoe, and my big thing, I'll have a little counter argument for Jeff. So that would be good content. But my big thing for that shoe and the women's shoes in general is there's just more women wearing shoes. And these types of shoes are shoes that they say, hey, I'm building a sneaker collection right now, because they've only been doing it really for the last year and a half or two. And they're like, I want to add this type of a female shoe to my collection. I want to add a shoe with a heart. I want to add a nice pink shoe, whether it's that AM90, whether that's that AF1 with a heart. They want to add that to the rotation that they're going to have and wear when they choose to. And I think we've not seen a lot of that targeted buying by females entering the market in the past. And that's one thing that, I'm kind of pushing on with the stimulus and tax money is, hey, we might have women driving a bit of this market more so than we think with some of the stimulus money.
And do you follow the same opinion of? I keep on hearing people are saying that this year Air Force Ones and Jordan 4s are kind of the ones to watch, of being the big ones to go for. Is that what you guys think as well? Or?
I'm very bullish on Jordan 4s as a whole. Like,
agreed,
especially with the collabs and whatever that's going to come about or has already come about, and just the attention they're getting. At first, it to me, from what I see, like from people around me, Jordan 1s and mids were, people went from, all right, I'm kind of just into normal sneakers, I don't mess with anything that's Jordan, to like, I kind of like these, I could see myself kind of wearing them, but I don't know what I wear them with. As far as Jordan 1s, and I'm talking like non-sneakerhead people. And then they're like, oh, I just saw my friend wear those. I need those. I need this one. I need that one. I need this one. Could you get me this? Could you get me that? Jordan 4s, last time I checked, were kind of on that stage where people are like, yeah, that's kind of my next favorite model, but I don't really know how to wear it. Like, I haven't seen anyone wear them. And I feel like, I don't know how to wear them. So I feel like once people start seeing more and more people wear them, especially a lot of the hyped up models and colorways, I think it's just going to be the next like mid, as like last year was, because price isn't crazy. A lot of it, especially in smaller sizes, it's $140. So I could see that being a really, that to me, that's going to be the skew, or not the skew, the model of the year.
Yeah, I agree with fours as that thought process. We've recently, in the last like 2 weeks, we've had a personal shopper come in that buys for women, and I showed them they're buying right now. They want Jordan 1 highs. That's what their clients want, and I showed them fire reds. I showed them starfishes. I showed them PSGs, metallics for fours. And she was just like they're not gonna like this. They're not gonna like the style. I don't really get it. And I said, like, in the next, year or two, or not, maybe, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but by the end of the year, you're gonna your clients are gonna want these. So I think that the fours we all feel bullish about. For me, not as much Air Force Ones, because I feel like 2018 to 19 was like peak Air Force Ones with like G-Dragons, those Travis Scott zippers, like all the Air Forces that were dropping at that point were just great for men and women. Yeah, off-white
MoMAs or whatever they are.
Yeah, and women in that era got so into just white on whites Air Force Ones that they to me, white Air Force Ones for women have replaced like a Chuck Taylor as like that standard cheap go-to, always in stock kind of situation. And to me, the second model, not Air Force One, would be Dunks, because I think that this year Dunks are just going to be so much more accessible that women are going to be able to actually buy them, because women weren't really into them in the past, and the regular Dunks and SB Dunks have just been so hard to get in general, let alone in small sizes, that the prices, and you're not really seeing women in them. So as you start to see more GR Dunk lows, I think that's where that black and white one, when that comes out in the US, and the UNC blue, I think both of those are going to be really popular with women.
Yeah, we had those already here.
Right, and the price point will be good on them, because there'll probably be, I can't imagine more than like 275, 300 in all sizes based on release structure. So I think that's where it'll go, and it'll be Nike putting more out, price dropping, more options available, and women buying into them.
No, I'm not even going to talk, because he just said exactly what I would have said. So I summed it up perfectly. That's exactly my thought process. Nailed it.
And I saw a lot of people going for disrupts Dunks today in the EU UK, and I was a bit, I don't know, hesitant in a sense. I think their thought process was, okay, they're not going to be able to maybe hit the pearls, so girls might go on to the disrupt. I think they were Coast. I can't remember what they were. Can't remember. But disrupt, I don't get it personally, but
I get it from a look perspective. Women we have one pair of the Ash Pearl or whatever that violet one is in the store, and people like it. But like, for example, at a store in Philly, a black gum pair and that color are just sitting, and StockX, they're well below retail. So to me, the theory holds, and I think like women like them. When I show them to women, they like the look of it. It's just, I think the price point, like basically they've already been killed online price point. So somebody like, where is the value for us as resellers? Maybe if a collab comes across, but in where I operate, where I own a sneaker store, disrupts could be great to sell for 150, 160 for people in that situation. But if you're buying, botting, selling online, I think they're going to continue to make more of those, and there's not going to be that hype energy where you're going to see a lot of them stay at retail or below.
They kind of remind me of like those, like from just the way the shoe is playing out, not a design perspective per se, kind of. But what are those MK4s or whatever those men's?
You're talking about these, the M2Ks?
There you go, Jeff. There you go.
One of my favorite shoes I own. This is my third pair. I run through these every day.
I know you love them, but they remind me of them, like from how they are going to get played out by Nike, because we thought those were going to be possible hitters when they first came out. Like they were ones that you definitely wanted to speculate on. And I even think when some disrupts came out earlier, we speculated on like some of the first calls. But I don't know. The model, honestly, I think it's all about Dunks. I think Dunks have just kind of just washed up. If you didn't have the Dunk market in play, you probably would see Air Forces and disrupts really pushing that, driving that market. But Dunks are everything right now for that market play. You know, like Jeff said too, they have the exclusivity to them. I can go buy a disrupt anywhere I want. I can't buy a Bay Dunk wherever I want. You just can't.
Well, and also it'll be really interesting to see how the Dunk highs go. because dunk lows are clearly more in demand than dunk highs.
Yeah.
To see it from a price point perspective and just like consumer demand when they come in, that Jordan 1 is really the only model where the high is better than the low.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see if, as the year goes on, if the dunk high becomes a Jordan 1 substitute or not. Because it just, right now, people come in, we show them purple dunks, we show them there's only one that people really like, and it is the Spartan greens. That's the high that people like. They don't really like Michigan. They don't really care for purple. They don't care for Iowa, for women at least. Like men and women too. By far the most popular, asked about, and sold is Spartan green.
Spartan's literally the only high that I've got as a personal right there as well.
How about that? There you go.
That green and white colorway looks really good together. I'm curious to see how well the lows do.
That's kind of one of the reasons we made the call on the purple and white. I don't know if you were in the group at that point, Josh, but
I wasn't. I've actually got a pair for personal that I haven't put on yet, though.
Yeah, like I mean, it seemed like a kind of clean colorway combo, like the green and white. But I mean, honestly, I haven't even checked prices lately on that one to see where it's at. Is it doing anything? Is anybody buying it over there, Jeff?
What? Which
the purple and white dunk high?
We've had a few people look at them, but we have a full size run. Nobody's bought one yet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff, are you supposed to be wearing ones right now?
Yeah, I took them off. So it was snowy out, so I wore the M2Ks. But when we talked about neutral gray, I laced mine up, and I was going to put them on after we talk about them.
Oof.
Got you.
So
because Jeff is wearing ones for all of February. So
28 days, 28 different Jordan ones. So
nice.
But it's been so snowy and the weather's shitty. I wasn't standing in line for Carmines and love letters. I wasn't going to wear my neutral grays and then have somebody step on them or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
Those things are clean. I'm looking forward to seeing it. All right, let's go. Yeah, where are we going to go to next? We got the stay. How is it in hand?
I mean, it's not for me.
I didn't like them
with the hearts on the front, but I think that they're very dope for sure. The hearts is a nice touch, the same way that like I liked the Clivers I didn't keep, but I liked that the Cliver was a snowflake. Like I like when they do something different to it, even if they're not something that I would keep myself.
So you were saying earlier, you know, you find these to be a seasonal shoe, something that is a aspect that concerns you about the long-term growth of it. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So
I mean, with this one, I would have no problem holding the small sizes by any means, for sure.
Okay.
See, I was going to make the same comparison because the Halloween Air Force Ones, like is the exact same. You know, it's a Halloween, it's a holiday themed shoe. You wear it on Halloween and that's it. You know, or around that time. Then for the next 360 days of the year, it doesn't make a difference again. So, but this one, I feel like there's more to it because I could see a lot of girls not caring that it's Valentine's Day in 3 months, you know, that it's not Valentine's Day in 3 months and just be like, I really like that shoe, you know, in a size 4.5 or size 6, you know, I want it. You know, Valentine's Day or not, that's kind of my style. I like it, this, that, and whatever. So to me, there's more value than in terms of than if you're looking at a Halloween, you know, Air Force One. But yeah, I still think the upside's like a little bit more limited just because it is like just a holiday themed shoe.
Well, and I think for women, the fact that it's pink and it has hearts could transcend more of like going past that seasonality thing. But for men, I don't like men. This is like they get a fit on Valentine's Day.
I mean, I wouldn't even wear this on Valentine's. I don't care what day it is. I'm not wearing that shoe.
Yeah,
for you, yes, but for people that come in and they try to get a fit off on Instagram on their street tonight, like this is fine. But after tomorrow,
I'm sorry, but come on.
No, but after tomorrow, this is going in the tuck until next Valentine's Day. The same way that the skeleton Air Forces are going in the tuck November 2nd until the next Halloween.
Yeah, I agree with that from a men's perspective.
If you post a picture wearing those on Los Angeles today, believe me, I'll be commenting.
There's 0% chance that I would wear that shoe.
Well, you never know where some of the crap you wear, but okay.
Man, jealousy is an ugly trait, Brandon. I have my neutral grays for today. This will be on the gram right here. Preview. Look.
And again, that does not move the needle. Let me know when you're wearing some LeBron samples from 2013, and
I wanted the Stewies. I voted for the Stewies. They would have been straight to feet, and they lost in the first round.
Good, well-deserved loss. All right, what else?
Interesting. Those love letters actually was really the female sizes or base sizes were really limited. We hit loads on the release. And I think I hit about 30, but only got 3 or 4 shipped. Every single one of the other ones cancelled, that's not always normal here. So yeah, it was very limited in small sizes here.
To me, they're no brainer. Keep them, put them, stash them.
Well,
base size and sell them on consign down the road at Jeff's store.
At both stores that had them, the smallest that they had available to the public was 8 in both. They didn't even have grade school.
Man. Yeah.
Shit, I should have held mine then, I guess.
Yeah. We're working on you. We're working on you. You're gonna be killing it here.
Yeah, one day at a time.
I'm high on this shoe for the simple fact that it's the first release in my 8 years of reselling that my sister has wanted. It's literally the first time where she was like, "Oh, I saw these on Instagram. Like, I want them." So based on that fact alone, I'm super high on these. I agree with everything else that was said.
High quality Smurf indicator right there, guys. High quality Smurf.
Well,
my brother also texted me and say he
asked
it for his
our employee in the store
really?
who has very good drip, and I asked her if she would wear the love letters, and she said these ones she would wear, but not much after Valentine's Day, and she would wear the heart ones a lot more.
Yeah. I love the heart ones, man. That's why I put it in the StockX call yesterday, last night, for buying. I think it's a great investment personally, but all these I think are bays, and I think they're all consigns. Like, I know they'll do stuff on apps, but guys, this is the type of shoe that if a girl has it and she walks into a big consign, I mean, they're just going to pay whatever. The prices I think are going to get silly for some of these shoes and some of these bay prices down the road. To add, the last thing is just, I think everything that they said about everything the panel said about the girls is facts. And I really think, we're going to see a lot more of, girls picking shoes and adding them to their inventory of something they want to have, whether or not it's something that they're going to wear once a year, or it's something they see themselves wearing a bunch of times. I think either way, they're still a buyer. What we got? Oh, big Smurf.
Great segue. Speaking of silly shoes,
has Smurf? Have you meditated? Nice.
I've definitely calmed down on this release. I mean, I really can't believe what happened.
It's the worst release I can remember.
It's the worst ever.
So to give a brief synopsis on this entire release, Marcus Jordan backdoored 8,000 pairs to resellers across the country at $1,000 per to a couple of people, and then those packs got broken down. Then Marcus launched a raffle which nobody could enter, so he reopened it later on. To date, there's been 2 people who have posted about hitting the raffle. One of them has been Ben Baller, and the other person is somebody on Twitter who's followed by Marcus Jordan and who happened to have a pair like 2 months ago as well. So basically, nobody has gotten this shoe.
Except for exclusive access on sneakers.
I did see a few sneakers wins, I was going to say.
A few sneakers does. Yeah, a few sneakers
There was sneakers exclusive access, and that might have been a couple thousand pairs. But
a couple thousand, it was like 200.
No, it was under 400 for sure.
How are you guys like quantifying this?
I have sources.
Yeah. I thought the exact number was like 236.
Really? Okay. Well,
it was. You're right.
Damn, I know 5% of the people who hit that motherfucker. That's crazy.
Nice.
So basically, nobody got this shoe.
Nobody got this shoe. So the market's insane. Brandon's rich, but he's also soft because he couldn't buy as much. And
this to me, this was like I tweeted a few days ago. I said this is the perfect example of a shoe that the right people got their hands on. Like everyone who bought it. I don't want to hype myself up here. Was their hands were strong enough where if they paid $1,500 for it, none of those guys were taking a loss on it. So that's one. So essentially, retail was $1,500 on the sneaker.
Who pays $1,500 and takes a loss? Oh yeah, there's a lot of people.
Well, but you know what I mean. Like of those people that bought it, that was essentially the retail price, $1,500, right?
Right.
And after that, people kept saying, "Oh no, but I'll wait. You know, for the release, more pairs are coming, so I'm not too worried." And then as the week went on, people started realizing, like, "Oh shit! Like, no, there is no release really. Like, it's just you're either gonna, you know, pay resale or not." And then slowly the price started climbing, and then finally it hit people Wednesday, and just price skyrocketed. So I did exactly what I said I was going to do, and now I have a bunch of grade school pairs hitting that are probably going to get canceled. Okay, but whatever. No, I did what I said I was going to do last week. I sold a few pairs like as the price was moving up. I think I ended up selling about 4. Lowest was about 2,000, and the highest was like 2,850. And essentially now, every time I get a message on eBay, they're like, "What's the lowest you could do?" I'll tell them $50 higher than the current asking price. And then they'll say, "Well, that's above your asking price." I tell them check now, and the price goes up another $100. So I'm kind of bullish on it too still, but
that's just like there's no reason for you to be doing that.
None at all.
This guy is
that's not resale advice. That's just me getting pissed off at people on eBay. So
why does that make you mad though? That's you're asking.
You're not getting these messages.
You're not
getting the messages. I had 3 since we started this call. Hey, what sizes do you have? I don't know.
I get 3 messages a day asking if my $100
No.
3 Jordan 1 Vdays toddlers are men's sizes. I get them multiple times a day. I'm sorry, is this a men's size or is this an infant size? It says in their infant, it says 11K and it's $100. Why would that be a men's size?
Right.
I get those multiple times a day.
Same page here. We're on the same page.
But I don't yell at them and go, "You're an idiot." I'm raising.
I say to them, "You're an idiot." I don't care.
There's no good that's going to come from that.
Yeah, well, you know, all good. They're not paying me
anyway. To break it to you, Brandon, but like 100 other people have this shoe in the same size run you do, and they're not going to give people the runaround. So I mean, I guess if you're like long on this shoe and you really are just looking for the people who click now, and that's it, like that's. But why don't you just turn off the ability for people to message you?
I didn't know
that's a better idea.
Or why don't you just not check the message?
When do you think
he enjoys it too much?
He does. He loves it, man. He loves the banter. This motherfucker probably videos his responses and just hoping he's got some mixtape shit.
That'd be a good YouTube channel, to be fair.
When do you guys think the shoe reaches the point where it's like either not necessarily going to drop in price, but like just tails off and like the bid-ask spread gets wider and the sales get slower? Like what point, either time frame or price-wise, do you think people just move on? Because like if you think a lot of these hype, like super limited shoes, like Soulflies, like
I don't even understand who's buying this shoe right now.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
Like there's so much better available at $2,500, $2,800. Where this isn't like you didn't know about the shoe 2 months ago. It doesn't have like a real feeling behind it. I don't know. I don't connect with it at all.
There are people that apparently the way that it went down makes them want it more. And like to me, that's ridiculous. Like if this was a release that was super limited and it was fair and whatever, and it landed at like 2K, 2,500, I would definitely have considered buying one, just because I like all the limited Jordan 1s, everything. But the way it went down, I have zero interest in the shoe anymore.
Yeah, but don't you think about all the hype it got from that? Like you saw people posting.
It's so lame though.
No, but a lot of people don't give a shit. They're like, I want to be seen in what everyone's talking about right now. This is what everyone's talking about right now.
It's called the Kardashian method.
But
it's literally termed.
Yeah, but for me, as someone who spends this money on shoes, the fact that it's getting talked about for the wrong reasons, like I just am like, all right, I'm just gonna I'd rather go spend that $2,500 on something else that is super limited and people don't have.
I would just buy Chicago 1 over this all fucking day long. I wouldn't even think twice. I'm just saying, this in general. Like I don't understand it.
Chicago ones than these. I'd rather have Union ones than these. Travis's,
all day.
There's so many Jordan ones.
So many Jordan ones. Yeah, so many Jordan ones. I don't get this. So my point in that is, and Smurf was asking, or Jeff was asking, one of y'all, when does this tail off? I think I personally do think it tails off. I've seen some people ask, is this like an off-white Jordan situation, etc. I'm like, no, like I don't see that. And I could be absolutely wrong, but if I have these pairs, if you have these pairs, you more than likely went the route Brandon did Most people didn't cash out. So you more than likely went the route Brandon did. And I don't know why you wouldn't off them after this rush. I mean, you could make the argument that you think maybe this is going to continue because money's hitting the marketplace. Okay. All right. If you want to gamble for another two.
Check is not even covering the shoe.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know. Well, now, I mean, if you're married, if you're some dude who's a bum and you're married and you got 6 kids, you're getting $600 a kid, which is $3,600, $1,400 for your wife, and $1,400 for yourself. That's $6,400. You might bum that shit out. You know what I'm just saying.
You've done those maths way too quick there.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, really.
You can tell I have kids, man.
The comp to Off-White Chicago's is wrong too, because like to me the Off-White Chicago is like the next generation's Yeezy Red October. Like it was the one with all the hype, all the craziness.
100%.
It just like it was teased for a year and everything. And it just was like so crazy off jump, and like legitimate all walks of people wanted the Off-White Chicago. And that's why it's never really tailed off. Like there's still 4K bids and everything.
Well, also the other thing is like Marcus Jordan is not Virgil. And so Virgil
not even close.
Like Virgil the Off-Whites dropped like here and Virgil has kind of taken off. Whereas like Marcus Jordan, like this might be the biggest moment of his life.
This is the biggest moment, absolutely.
For sure.
So like,
and I mean Off-White as a brand was like near its peak at that point too. It was just the perfect mix of everything. The same way that like I think if Travis Jordan 1s were more limited than they were, I think Travis 1s would be 2,500 plus. There probably just was a lot more of them than Off-Whites.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Travis 1s had that same energy. But they've climbed well too. I mean, those big sizes are 1,800 now in Travis Scott 1s.
Are they?
Yeah. It's basically they've caught up to the China sizes. Like the 8 to 9 are the same as like 11 to 12 now.
Okay. This shows good demand. That's when you see true demand. That's when you know a shoe has excellent demand. When you see it starting to even out size wise at a high price point, like that's when you know that the shoe is just wanted by everybody. Because for obvious.
And I wonder with Travis Scott 1 specifically, at them and the Dunks, I wonder when he like puts out his next album and if he has a crazy big single, if the prices of those will go up, because he's kind of been dormant since Astro World in that sense. Like he's done a lot of collabs. But like, it's not like he's had a huge song. All these songs have kind of come and gone.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad gamble for sure.
The picture he posted like 14 hours ago, he's wearing the reverse colorway 1s,
like the frag ones.
Those are dropping 100% this year.
They are.
Yeah.
Gloss bomb.
Yeah, those fragment lows are dropping.
Wow.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. I don't know how to show them while I'm on my phone. Here, wait. But it's
what the hell?
It's like it's that
the
brown toe.
Yeah, the reverse high.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I don't think that one's dropping, but I guess we'll find out. But there's apparently a lot in the tuck for Jordan and Travis this year.
So for these trophy rooms, before we get off, we are recommending sale.
Yeah. I'll actively move my pairs for sure at market price. Sure.
There you go.
I mean, it depends on it depends on your cash flow, because I don't see it'll be tougher to sell over time. But if you got in at 1,500-1,600, like you have that income, like you have that unrealized gain, and also at this point, like if you bought them, you probably bought multiples like Brandon, and you have the cash flow to sit on it. So I don't think there's like a rush per se that you have to sell them.
But
I feel like a lot of people have a lot of the same sizes. So I'm more talking based on what I have, like 10.5, 11, 12. If you're offering me $3,000, which is essentially what you're going to be paying on StockX, I'm taking it, right?
Yeah,
no fees.
Yeah.
For me, I just pay shipping. That's really kind of been my number right now. But at the same time, you know, if you message me, hey, you know, the 3,000, it goes up to 3,300. Sorry, you should have took it when I told you at 3,000. That's all I'm trying to say. That's my only point.
Listen to this guy. So don't listen to him, guys. So Jeff. So basically, Jeff, scale out is what we're saying. Maybe not cold scale. Maybe not cold sell off, but scale out of the shoe.
That's what I would say.
Don't deal with Brandon though, because you're not going to get his pairs. He will not let you get his.
No,
pairs.
gladly don't waste my time.
He will just continually bump the price on you with every word that you talk. 100.
No.
Oh, that's another 100.
Please let me buy the shoe. I'm ready to cash out.
That's $600 now. You said 5 words. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I charge 20 a character. I up the price of 20 a character.
All right, so the discount calls went over one of them, but this is bread. So these calls, guys, the way I did
was there a slide for neutral gray or no?
No, I didn't make one. So actually, do you want to talk about those real quick since I know you wanted your little moment?
Yeah, we can talk about those.
In front of me, I laced them up and everything.
No, we should probably talk about them anyways, though. I looked at them for that buy.
Clean. Yeah, they're definitely clean.
I think they're very nice shoe, personally.
There was a little more hype around them than I thought there would be because the pure platinum dunk highs are worth nothing, and they're essentially the same look, that white with gray. I mean, it helps that these are an 85 and that these were super limited, but I don't know where the upside, like, I don't know. It's not one I would buy them in small sizes, but I don't know how I feel about these long term when the reverse breads haven't gone up that much either.
I agree.
Gloss, how do you feel about, like, when does it come up where Nike starts GRing these? Like, is this going to be once they go through it, you know, all the making it very limited? Are they just going to go back and say, hey, look, we're making them all GRs again, or the next bread one is going to be in the 85 cut, or what do we, you know what I mean?
My feeling is that they're going to keep, like, it's kind of their way to separate, whereas like they're going to do this 85 cut once, twice a year. And it's going to be limited in that OG style, higher price point to help keep some of that exclusivity as they continue to make Jordan 1 GRs. Now, what will be interesting to see is like the next time breads in Chicago's come. I can't think that they're just going to, the next time they do Chicago, if they do it in 2025, say, they do it so limited where it's only an 85 cut. Because people will be furious, but at the same time, maybe their strategy is going to be, you know what, the Chicago OG colorway is going to be an 85 cut. Breads are going to be 85 cut, but here's your white heel Chicago high, and here's like maybe the OG colors for the next run are going to all be limited 85 cuts, and they're going to do slight variations for GRs, like the same way that they did a Chicago white heel and a Chicago toe.
That would be the most scum thing ever. That would be so.
I mean, Marcus Jordan's the most scum thing ever, so I don't know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, that's he wins. That's a winner.
It just could be a way to keep, because if they want to keep pumping out Jordan 1s and make them GR, they're gonna have to do something to still keep people like us in the mix, because eventually it's just gonna be too much.
You got to keep the energy there. You got to keep the energy there.
So the way they could do it is collabs and then doing OG colors in this 85 cut. Keep them limited, keep it specific like that. And I think that's probably what they're going to do for the next couple of years. And then they're going to just, the GR Jordan 1s, you'll have ones like Mochas and UNCs that just, it doesn't matter the stock, there's serious demand for them in new colors. And then the rest are going to just be like Volts.
No.
Yeah, so how do we want to go StockX Day, or do we want to, if there's any questions for us, we could also go to that. So
yeah, we can run through the StockX Day here in a little bit. I was gonna ask Josh, obviously the majority of people who watch this and will watch it on our channel know exactly what we do. And obviously Lucky Botter, you are a botter. But like you've talked a little bit about how, you feel like you need to grow the reading the market and what to hold and but give us an idea like of what buying and selling like looks like for you, because we've everyone kind of knows what way we buy and sell. What does it look like for you?
So I mean, generally speaking, it's going for a high volume of what we would consider as hype. The problem is sometimes something feels like it's hype, but actually it's resellers and botters hyping it up, if that makes sense. But more so, I've said it before on some of my videos where we were going for like the smoke lows, the smoke gray lows Jordans, and impossible to hit for a lot of us on Foot Locker. But then I went into work and I'd walk by the shop and they've had full size run inside of shops, so I could get it just from there rather than waste my time on botting. But yeah, generally speaking, now it's diversifying, not just doing UK, doing the whole of the EU at this moment in time, in all honesty, because A, I'm so rubbish at reading the market, but B, because generally speaking, unless it's a really, really limited release, I know exactly kind of how it will go. Straight after release, the price will drop once all pairs are in hand for most of them here in the UK. So if I see that there's a small profit, sometimes I'll hold on to some, like those these ones here, the heart ones. But what I'll do is I'll basically just keep on churning over my stock, if that makes sense. But what I've started to do actually is, if I've got a good feeling, like the Yeezy Suns. So I got like 8 Yeezy Suns because no one in the UK or EU really went for them. They thought they weren't going to do anything. So I was like, well, fuck it. If you're not going to do it, I'm going to go for it, because it means no one's bricking it then. And it just turned out to be limited. But I didn't know it was limited. So I quick sold like half of them, and then I just to pay back my capital, and then held half. So that's what I'm starting to do now. I'm starting to just kind of cover my costs, and whatever's left over, I kind of hold and try and figure out what to do. Sometimes it pays off, often it doesn't. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. Like you, you're saying too, I think we were talking a little bit before, that competition in that area is starting to rise a little bit in the UK. There's more people starting to run bots. And how is that having an effect on, you know, on your success? Has that just made you scale up more, or has it literally dampened your success, or what?
I mean, scaling is the big thing. I mean, I recently purchased Dragon, so that kind of tells you the kind of scaling that I need to do.
Yeah.
And even now, like releases, you know, before, when I first got into it, it was only a year ago I got into this, the first lockdown in the UK. And it was pretty, even then it was pretty all right. I could just run general residential data, didn't matter where it was from, and I'd hit on Foot Locker, I'd hit on different releases. And now all of a sudden, me and the person I kind of bot with the most, a guy called Aman, we now are throwing everything at it, not just one instance of a bot. We're having to do multiple instances, like 5 cybers, and get so much diversify with residential proxies, diversify with DCs. Every drop is costing me like 10-fold the amount. But because we're now comfortable with doing it, we do still see some rewards from it as well, if that makes sense. But like, for instance, getting Dragon, it was the most petrifying thing I've done, but it's paying back. Do you know what I mean? So I think now what you're going to see, I think, are the botters that are willing to take the biggest risk, but calculated risks, and throw actual resources at it, will do well. People like your Frank Whites, you know, Jake from AYCD and stuff. But then there'll still be that newbie success that some people get, that are kind of just, somehow it just clicks, and one drop they get loads. So there's still going to be more people entering that lower part of the market, is what I call it. I think it will just make us scale up more servers, more instances. I think it's getting harder, but that also comes with the times that we're in as well. People have got more time on their hands, so they've got more time to invest in doing nothing at home, especially here in the UK. I'll carry on doing this, and I've got a job. Luckily, thankfully, I'm at a position in my job where I can just work from home most of the time. So, and this is working from home. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, nice. It is getting harder. It is getting tougher. But for me, it's either grow and adapt, or allow it to get tough and leave, I guess.
So if you've been botting for like a year, you've scaled it up pretty fast, and in general.
Yeah, it's been 9 months in total. I think YouTube kind of made me do that, because I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I need content every week. I have to hit. Like, there's no doubt about it. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I like not hitting quite a lot, because it shows the reality. It's not as easy as just start, go. But if I went a month without hitting, I mean, that'd be my channel done. So that's kind of made me scale. But at the same time, it's put me in a position to also be able to scale. Like the Dragon purchase was all done via what I've done for the 9 months. Nothing of my job or anything like that. It's all done via botting. So it's, at the same time, it's given me the opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's
Dragon cool. The best bot.
If you want, so yesterday, for instance, first time I ran it on Nike US, this was it. They dropped the let me have a look at my monitors. The smoke gray mids, yeah, and those racer blue mids.
Yeah, signal blue or whatever.
That's it. And within maybe 30 seconds, there was about 130 checkouts I got.
Jesus Christ.
And they've all shipped. Wow.
Yeah, they've all shipped, but that was one-to-one accounts. So
right.
So is it working on like sneaker stuff, or this is when it drops on Nike site?
It has got sneakers as well. I've literally only had it about a day. I fumbled it. There was a Leo drop and I totally forgot. But I've seen some success. But Nike site, it's unreal. Like unreal.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with a pallet turning up of shoes, go for Dragon. But it's a hefty price to be honest.
The only thing I would say with all of this is, it's like I was in a position of exactly what you described, like probably 3 years ago in terms of scaling up and everything. And so when it works, it really works. But the issue with it is when you take L's on releases and nothing works, you can end up losing 5 figures of release, which is not fun. And so like when Nike started kind of caring about botting with like the Travises and everything like that, I got burned really heavily. And that's kind of actually what made me pivot towards doing more of the BSH model, just because in kind of setting up for all these releases, you have these sunk costs of proxies, accounts, whatever, and you don't know if you're going to hit. So there's a risk reward.
100%.
Whereas I find with BSH, you essentially can take that cost, allocate it to purchases, and yes, you miss out on that upside of missing out for retail and capturing all that value, but you make up for it in the sense that there's no risk that you're just kind of burning money. But
I've said it openly on my channel. If I was to do this actually as a job and I left my job, the BSH model would be the main model that I followed, with botting on the side for a bit of fun, and I wouldn't throw what I throw at it currently. And
Exactly.
I do it with someone else to kind of minimize the risk at the same time. And you know, certain things from YouTube obviously goes into that. If this was my own money fully, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's an interesting perspective. So you have like a full-time job as well.
Yeah, I've got a full-time job. I'm technically by trade a lecturer, like a college professor, basically in your terms. But I also co-own a company inside of London. I'm a business partner of a company. But yes, I've got like those two things going on, and then I do this and YouTube. And I've got a wife, so clearly I've got so much time on my hands.
Yeah, busy guy. Yeah. No, I that's pretty cool. Cool stuff, man. Yeah, no, it's interesting to hear that viewpoint. I think, you know, like I was talking to you a little before, I feel like people take your level and where you're at is a level a lot of people go to, but then they don't get to the success you're at. Obviously, you've risen up because of your skill level and done a very good job and add the content creation on top of that. But you know, you get to a point where you have to level up doing different things, especially as this market changes so much. Like, I don't know. I guess I've been in it for 5 or 6 years on a pretty consistent basis, and we've seen so many trends and so many things go around. So, you know, it's smart that you're building up different skill sets, because I don't think botting, we've talked about it a little before. I like seeing people exit. It makes me happy when I see people exit, but I don't think any of that stuff's going to go away. It's just, it goes through swings where it's really profitable and it's really not. And you have to be able to, you know, kind of hop on the right bike when it's time to ride.
Yeah, I think that's the next step for me. I want to start doing the more BSH model, hence why I joined you guys. But like, you guys are the experts. You know, I haven't got the confidence or skill level to understand markets, and that's what I need to kind of start. That's what I need to start doing, because otherwise I'll go and buy a load of shoes, say on StockX or for resale, and they'll tank. Generally, the advice I'd give you is, if I'm holding any shoes, sell that fucker. If I sell anything, hold it. That's kind of the model at the moment. That'd be my advice.
That's great. Counter trade them. Counter trade the man.
I've got quantums sitting right there, so that kind of tells you where I'm at.
I love it.
We got quantums too. Don't worry.
You trying to some of mine?
I've got one. Do I have one left? See that black and teal box down there? That's my last Supreme dunk. That's my last Supreme dunk. What a fuck up that was 2 years ago. Jesus Christ, man.
I think I might have to start selling mine.
We've all been there, dude. We've all been there. But you know, that's my single biggest lesson in shoes. You know, and it was right at the start of BSH, and I had a lot of things people don't realize until they get put in the situations, is how challenging it is to make these calls. Because a lot of people feel a certain way, but they don't put it out to get the feedback from it, you know, or have people that pay a fee. and you understand that kind of as a content creator, people who sub to you, that's the same concept. It changes the level of production that you're doing. And these calls are challenging. It's a challenging thing to do.
Oh, you can tell the price.
And I'm lucky that, we've been making calls for 18 months, 19 months now. And it's something that just builds, right? Like anything, just like your botting skills built in anything. So, you'll do really well with it. The more you're exposing it to yourself, you'll pick it up very easily. I have no doubt about that.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. We can run through these StockX real quick, and then we'll kind of close it out. So these calls right here, the StockX calls, were basically we had StockX half price seller day. So what I did is I went and did data comps and looked for discrepancies in quick drops and valuable shoes that I felt would rise. On this one right here, let me get is the base sizes. Obviously, we're high on these base sizes, been high on these base sizes. But this one in particular, so let's see, what was it? They were selling for $450 to $470 in these sizes. I recommended sizes 5 through 6 about a week ago. So these are the way you play these calls is if you're buying them, is these are just basically like buying a dip in the stock market. It has a target, a long range target that you're going for, and you're just looking at this as basically a discount entry. So if it's something that you felt you missed the boat on and you've been wanting to get into, this is essentially an opportunity to get into it at under market rates. So these are the types of calls these are. First one, it was size 5 through 6, these breads. I had bid 390 to 410 last night. That's where you could bid and still be some of the highest bidders, actually. They were selling 450 to 470 a week ago in that size range. So pretty easy one. You guys know how we feel about this shoe at a consigned shop, especially. It's just a solid grower. Good entry point. You got the next slide, Smurf? This one is kind of under the radar, but it had a pretty big gap. It kind of goes along with the females coming in. It kind of really unhyped release. It was like mid-January. At about a week or week and a half ago, this shoe in the size range of 5.5 to 6.5 was moving at 315 to 330. The bids right now 270 to 280. Again, this is one that's just kind of dipped, and I really like it as an entry point in those sizes, and I think those are going to be some valuable sizes down the road. I think it's a good looking shoe, especially for the women. Y'all know that I'm high on the women these days. Volts. I picked this because it is literally pushed down on every single size. This was a statistical phenomenon yesterday. Every single size was pushed down to 200 because y'all know the sale works. It only works on a shoe that's 200 or higher. So they literally pushed every single shoe down to 200, and bids were at 199 to 198. To me, that shows it's at a definite bottom. I mean, that's bottom buying 101 in my opinion. When you went across any size 8 through 12 and saw a $2 spread and then that thing maxed down, I like that play. I think it's just an easy margin. I'm not saying it's going to be some big margin shoe, but buying in the size ranges of 7.5 and an 8.5, I think is a nice safe play that you can sell on no fee eBay and have no problems at all making safe margin gains with some upside. If you notice, this shoe is a high floor shoe, and I like high floor shoes. It's not going to fall. It's down at its bottom. And then the other one I think was one we already discussed, which was the Valentine's Day with the heart.
Gotcha.
That was sizes 6 to 7.5. I liked. And we've discussed that extensively. We're high on these base size Valentine's Day shoes for the time being. So
I just had one sold as I was sitting here, by the way, from Goat.
Did you?
Yeah, literally.
I believe it.
Does Goat allow you to sell from UK, or do you get pairs in the US that you have somebody like essentially middlemaning for you?
I have a bit of both. I've got slot people that I run for, a couple of guys that just want bulk and I run for them. But then I've also got some people that if I really want to go for something, I'll send to them. They send over to Goat or to their buyers, and then we'll kind of split the profit, I guess. I do that quite a lot, and I do that in other European countries as well. In all honesty, that's probably where I make the better money in a sense, because it's less hands-on for me. It's out of me. It's done.
There's a lower risk profile too.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly that.
There's no doubt about that. All right. Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on. That's just excellent to hear what you're doing. You're killing it. I mean, I've been botting longer than you, and I suck. So.
No, I'll suck as well.
I never got into botting because
well
I was
done.
never good. So.
Yeah, well done, man. Hopefully, you know, our UK guys who watch this, I hope you guys enjoy getting to hear someone, you know, on your side talk about things and get bored on the US talk all the time. So it's nice for me to hear the perspective. Honestly, I need to do it more often because, you know, it makes me be able to better address y'all's needs over there. I was talking to Devin UK, our UK mod, and you know, I'm going to try and start getting a better feel for your schedule and your prices so that I can make better decisions, because it does transfer. It's all transferable. It's just understanding the markets a little bit better, which you guys already have, and we've got a decent little UK channel going. So glad to have you in, man.
Yeah, no, thanks. I'm looking even that you going through it. It's interesting. It's actually it is interesting. I need to get more into it. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
We'll get this one up pretty soon in the. Actually, this one's going to be public, so we'll get this on Twitter so everybody can check it later on.